slides might. Nice to see you. We're on page 7. And so I think it's just interesting to note that basically the developmental shifts that are happening here as we grow is more and more of an importance on the interior world and then using that in action in the exterior world. You guys know all this is not news, but it was really interesting to see it show up in the actual data. So on page 7, at the bottom, this is a person who leads a $50 million energy efficiency program in the U.S. And his number one piece of advice here is around getting intermittently comfortable and aware of your own limitations. So he was assessed at a strategist action logic, which is, again, it's a post-conventional stage. It's very, very mature from a meaning-making perspective. And you can see that there continues to be this element of be aware of what's happening inside of you. Now, he talks about your limitations, that has to do with also your behavioral skills, competencies, and so on and so forth. But he's also reflecting on really what are our internal limitations and what can we bring to the table. He basically says, get real clear about what you can bring to the table, and don't pretend that you can bring other stuff, and then find a team that you can work with that complements where you're not as strong. Turning the page here, some other highlights. I like this piece, this third piece that's in the second paragraph at the top of page 8 here, where he really challenges people to link the deep work with that which they have joy for. And you know, you see that as a common theme in lots of religious texts and lots of spiritual that your essence, kind of like the indicators for the essence of who you are, the work that you can and should be doing, is very strongly correlated with where that deep joy is. And so, looking for ways to constantly make that linkage. You know, and he says here in that third paragraph, you know, when you're doing the design, go back to it and look at it and ask yourself, does this design make my heart beat faster? Or is it just technically good enough? Right? And when he said that, I was like, you know what? I do a lot of just good enough designs. If it's technically good enough, it's going to work, right? When was the last time I designed something that made my heart beat faster? As he says, does it widen my eyes, make me breathe deeper? Do I look at it and go, that has potential to be a liberating structure for this group, or to engage in. And I like that. That was really beautiful. So I encourage you, if this is interesting to you, to read through this dialogue. And it's unedited. I didn't go through and take out the ums and the unintelligible parts. It's just all raw data, right? Straight off the interview, right to the transcription, is back to my computer, into your hands. And so let's drop down a little bit here. If we could shift to page 9. You can see. So this is Martin, who now is operating at an individualist action logic, which is the earliest of the post-conventional action logics. So this is more kind of like a postmodern way of seeing the world. And you can see that this person, again, is pretty tuned into, be aware that the quality of your sustainability initiative is largely dependent upon your interior state of quality. But there's still sort of an objectification that he's doing around that interior state. it's not like the ironess that we looked at the very beginning. You said what you do is your practice. It is your sacred practice, right? You are that. This person is saying, hey, be aware that there's psychological influence happening here, and that it'll impact your success, which is obviously totally appropriate for this person. And you can see that the pieces of advice here, while powerful and important, don't offer up quite as much depth as we were seeing earlier. So don't over-design. Clearly, that's a great piece of advice. But again, it starts to look outside of the world a lot more. Shifting down to Richard, much of Richard's focus here also is, again, on the outside world. He says, don't reinvent the world. Don't accept obvious constraints. Be really clear on what you and the people you're working with are really here to do. Now, he has a deep purpose piece that's emerged for him that's crucial to his work, to have that purpose. And so let me shift down to so turn to page 10 and Andre there, who is an architect in ecological design. This guy's doing amazing work, right? So what I want to be very clear about is that these meaning-making systems that people are operating out of, they obviously influence the work that people do in the world. But all of these people are very effective and impactful in the world. And you do not need to develop yourself up to the highest stages of meaning-making possible in order to be a very, very effective sustainability practitioner. And so, for me, sustainability effectiveness has to do with what I call 4Q, or SQ, S to the fourth for sustainability, right? So 4S, which has to do with your stage of development. So yes, you can see things in a more complex way, that makes a difference. It has to do with your style, your leadership style. Michael and I were emailing about this recently, actually. And so this has to do with more of your typology. It turns out that certain typological factors have a stronger correlation on your leadership effectiveness than even your developmental stage does. So stage, style, skill. What do you actually know about the arena? How strong are you? Like these ecological consultants, these guys know their material inside and out, backwards and forward, right? They're legends in their field, and they're so just embedded in it. And so your skills and the horizontal knowledge we talked about that you can draw upon, very, very vital to your effectiveness. And so skill / knowledge. And the fourth S is your state. And so that's really your ability to be in the moment and be open. And so you can think of Peter Senge's work around presencing, or Don Beck talks about an open and a closed states. And so being able to be in the moment and just be open. That also seems to have and to be very present. That's the fourth leg of the stool of powerful leadership, in my opinion, is that if you're going to develop things, you work on developing the stage of development. You work on getting clear about what your style is of change agency and the typology that you have around that. You get very good at the skills of your particular field, and then you focus also on your ability to create a powerful state in the moment, that state of presence and openness. So don't take this developmental stuff too seriously. Folks in the interval community tend to take it too seriously. You need to remember it's a big picture. However, it's interesting to look at how consciousness develops. So I want to stop there, and if you have further questions going through this, feel free to drop me an email. I didn't put my email on there, but I know has it, and a lot of you have it already. And let me open up at this point for any comments or insights or